Hey guys, Peoria, Illinois area EAS here. You guys can also call me SPC Morton 2001. In front of me, we have my two WR120s. The one to my left is the original, as you guys can see here. WR120, you guys do not see EZ. And the one on the right is the WR120EZ. These radios are the same hardware-wise, but they have a different, like a label, WR120EZ. So they're two different models, but they're kind of the same. See, there's the patent numbers and everything, FCC rules. And you guys can actually see that there's no Canada 310 here, because the WR120EZ was the one that it was sold in Canada. So you probably didn't see these weather radio receivers in Canada from Midland back in the day, but the WR120 was very common. But yeah, so without further ado, we're going to go over the overall differences between these two receivers. So let's go through a quick walkthrough. First, let's go through the weather broadcast. So both of them say weather, which that is normal. This one's tuned to WXJ71. This one will monitor KZZ65. And watch this. You guys can see that the original WR120 actually can go and have the volume down to where there's nothing but this silence noise coming out of it. But on here, check this out. You will hear the broadcast either way. So guys, that's some overall differences. The volume, the loud volume part is still the same. But now let's turn these things back up. Alright guys, another thing I would like to point out is then this thing will say saving if you turn up the volume and exit the weather broadcast. And just, yeah, and it will say saving for a bit of a long time. So guys, about the button beeps, if you turn the WR120 original off and the WR120EZ off, you guys will hear no button beeps from this thing. But guess what? You'll hear button beeps from the WR120EZ regardless if this thing's on or off. Which that's pretty nice how Midland added that. So let's turn these receivers back on. On. Alright. And on. The backlight should turn on when you get this thing on, or both things. So when you go up, you should see no message on both of them unless there's a warning. Then it'll give you the warning launch advisory. So guys, another thing, when this thing receives a warning launch or advisory, you'll see the message, but it won't start scrolling until this thing goes twice, and then it'll start scrolling. But this thing scrolls immediately. Like, right when this thing blinks, it goes. So that's another thing I'd like to point out. So now let's go to the menu. Set time is still the same. So guys, another thing you might notice is that this thing has a delay to go into the menu. Setting the time is the same on both of them, yeah. As you guys can see, both of them say 9:18. Now the next thing you should see on the original is weekly test. The next thing you should see here is set events. So on here, all you can do to change the events is turn the weekly tests on and off. I keep it on. So on this one, you can set the events. So I have this one set to all on so that I can get every single EAS alert, including the tests, which this thing is set to voice, so it will make that loud tone either way. So that's the way I like to have it. You could set it to all off, but that I would never do. So all off, I believe what this thing does, it admits every single alert except for those that are like life-threatening, like tornado warnings, volcano warnings, earthquake warnings, emergency action notifications, and all that. Another one is all default, which is all of those. But all off, okay guys, so all default is what I meant for that. All off means every single alert is turned off, but I don't see why they would add that in there. It's probably if you guys need to just listen to the weather broadcast, not focus on what is the watch warning or advisory is. So again, you guys can edit the events too, and even the lights go on and the message scroll begins. You even can edit avalanche watch. So the only warnings that you won't see in here are the life-threatening ones, such as tornado, volcano, earthquake, and all that, because you need to have those on because those can pose a risk to your life. So again, I would like to have mine all on. The next one, you should see button beeps on both of them. It's still the same agenda, on, off. And norm. Yep, I was thinking about the backlight there. Now, setting the channels is kind of different on both of them, but now let's go to the backlight. Backlight NORM is the way I like to have it set. And backlight on, it's the same agenda on both of them again. And both of them can be set to off. On the WR100, you can only have them set to on and NORM. You can't turn them off, but Midland was pretty nice to have that set, but for now I'll keep it on backlight normal. Setting the channel, believe it or not, it's the same kind of interface, but now watch. Now watch this. Nothing happens when I hit that button while changing the channels, but watch this. This is a very hidden feature. When you hit this button, watch what happens. If you hit this button on the WR120EZ while changing the channels, it will automatically scan. So now let's do an alert test. So let's get this one started. It's going to be loud again, so I don't want to wake anyone up. So here we go. And when you hit menu, it will exit the menu during the test. But on this one, you'll see this screen will say testing. And when you hit menu, all it does is go back to the menu. It doesn't go back. Now, alert type is the same on all three of these. The alert volume is the same on both of these. You can't change it, sadly, which, you know, because my ears would literally explode with that loud volume, but I keep it on voice because that's how most EAS dudes have those set. Alert type is the same in all three of these: voice, display, and tone. Sorry guys, I just paused the video because someone went in my room. So for the quality and stuff like that of my radios, I'll keep this on both of these on voice, which this one I had formerly set to display. Now, setting the location on these, it's this thing here can actually, this is why they call it EZ, you can actually tells you what county you want it to set it to. But this one here, you have to set your same codes. See, it says single and it says SAME01. Now watch this. When you hit here, you can click single and it says 01 Taswell IL. You can't program codes in here, but you can program counties in here. So, for example, let's demonstrate and just 2 empty. So you guys can obviously choose between United States and Canada. For the For the good of the video, I'll just do some random location in Canada. Pretend that I originally tuned into Weather Radio Canada, so Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, Northwest Territory. Yeah, it's kind of cool that this thing is compatible with Weather Radio Canada too, but I am familiar with the United States and NOAA Weather Radio, so see, you got all your states, counties, and everything. That's the easiest way to have your thing set up. Obviously, I'm going to have this one set to single. And this thing, I'll exit the menu for now. This thing I will have set for single for now because it's on voice mode. But yeah, it was formerly set to any, which the rest of my radios, like the 12991, the 12991 can't be set to any. But I'm going to have to set this thing up to any eventually. So I'm going to get this thing back to the set location. Alright, so setting the language. It's obviously, you can choose between English, Spanish, and French. Yeah, on all three of these, it's the same agenda. And set alarm. It's the same agenda on all three of these. Off and on. You guys can see the clock-like logo on these, which it's basically the same. And guys, look at this. On the WR120 original, I click select on off, and that just takes me back to the menu. And when I do it here and hit the select button again, it will allow you to choose what time it is regardless if it's on or off. So that's another cool thing they programmed into the WR120EZ. And we're back at set time, which that was at the beginning of the demonstration. And you guys might notice that this thing says saving for a whole lot longer time. It's because that this thing has to see if you changed any county configurations and all that. And yeah, this thing, it's kind of easy because all you do is set your same codes and all that basic stuff. So it doesn't take a while to save on here. It just says saving for exactly 1 second. Because, yeah. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching this demonstration. Peoria Area EAS here. Thank you so much for watching.